Welcome to the Division of the State Architects Project Inspector Overview Training course. I'm Ryan Turner, a District Structural Engineer with the Structural Safety Codes and Standards Unit at DSA's headquarters office. This course will be divided into several modules that will be presented by various DSA staff members and is intended to be completed on demand at your own pace. Although the course has been specifically prepared for project inspectors working on DSA projects, there's plenty of other info that may be of value or interest to other members of the design and construction industry. Please also note that this course must be completed in its entirety prior to any individual receiving credit for this course. Most modules will also include quizzes that you will need to successfully pass before you can continue on to the next module. Please note that this presentation is copyright protected and any unauthorized reproduction or distribution of this material is illegal and strictly prohibited. This is what AIA calls the best practices slide. Please feel free to read through this entire disclaimer for more information regarding professional education and certificates of completion. Throughout this presentation, we will be using different bullets to differentiate which items are a continued amendment versus a change in the amendment language. This enables you to quickly recognize and identify what is new versus what is not. As you can see, the bullets in blue color indicate continued or relocated CVC regulations or amendments that remain unchanged for the 2019 Code Edition. The quad diamond bullet or cloverleaf in red indicates an amendment that is new, modified, or deleted. We've also changed the font for these items to be red and underlined to help identify these changes of interest. This slide outlines the overall description for this course. It starts out by providing an overview of the inspector duties and responsibilities. Also, we'll include an overview of the 2019 California Building Standards Codes, or the California Code of Regulations, Title 24, Parts 1 through 12, as well as other relevant codes, reference standards, and procedures that are adopted by DSA. An emphasis will be placed on aspects of code that are applicable to inspectors. And we'll only be covering aspects of the code that are applicable to K through 12 public schools and community college construction. There will also be some course materials that are provided and included in the resources tabs for various topics. So I'll certainly encourage you and recommend that you refer to the resource tabs that are included for this presentation. After completion of this course, you should have an understanding of the roles and responsibilities of the project inspector. Also, a review of the required administrative processes, procedures, and documentation, as well as a review of the code requirements specific to testing and inspections of materials and assemblies. And then we'll also identify areas of concern for the project inspector. Here's an overview of the course sections that are going to be broken up onto two slides. On this first slide, we'll start with the laws and regulations. This is going to be in Title 24, Part 1, or the Admin Code, and it will include project inspector requirements. We'll also go through some of the project inspector reporting forms as well, and PI duties and responsibilities. In the second item, listed in the brown shaded area, will be procedures and required forms for Title 24, Part 2, which is CBC, Chapter 17A. And that will include DSA forms and then all the testing and inspection requirements. And then we'll jump down into the next module for Title 19, Title 24, Part 2, which is the CBC, Chapters 3 through 10, as well as Title 24, Part 9. And this will include areas for civil and site work, utilities, building construction, fire protection systems, and then also the documentation for those items. And then Title 24, Part 2, Chapter 11B, will go through some items for accessibility, and that will be parking, path of travel, and then building features. Continuing on with Title 24, Part 2, which again is CVC, in Appendix J, Chapters 18A, 19, and 19A will cover site work, soils, foundations, and concrete. And then the next module will be CVC Chapter 23, as well as some items in ASE 7, Chapter 13 for non-structural components, and wood will be covered in Chapter 23. And then the next module for CVC Chapters 21, 21A, 20, 22, and 22A are going to be masonry, as well as steel or structural steel and metals. And then Title 24, Part 4, Chapters 2 through 12, and Part 6, Chapters 2 through 13, are going to include or address plumbing and mechanical systems and requirements. And then lastly, Title 24, Part 3 is going to have items for electrical systems and requirements. So this is a rough overview of the different course sections and modules that are going to be part of the Project Inspector Overview training. And as I mentioned, we'll have various staff members presenting each one of these modules.